Good morning. Thank you for joining me this morning. I think I may be a minute late. My phone and my computer have two different times, so I opted for the computer. Welcome. Welcome to Tools for Transformation. So I'll wait a minute or two for some more people to join in. I hope that you are enjoying this incredible weather if you are in South Florida. And if you're not in South Florida, it's hot. It's hot. So what I want to talk to you about today is, if you've been following along, you see that I have been sharing daily tools for transformation. And transformation is really very hard to do. And many people are resistant to change, and so they can't quite get it. But to be perfectly honest, the resistance that people have to change is really just a fear. It is a fear of not knowing what is on the other side. So what I'm going to talk about is, how do you know if you really need to change? I have so many people who tell me, no, this is who I am, I'll never change. They may say, this is how I've always been, this is how I was raised, this is how my mother did it, putting all kinds of limitations on themselves for all the reasons why they shouldn't make change. And the truth of the matter is, it's just fear-based. It's just fear because we don't know what will happen or what our life will look like when we change. Truth be told, if you are here, you know that there is something that you want to change about your life. There is something that you want to change. And the universe is poised. This is the perfect time. This time of year, August, September, is typically a time of transition. Kids are going back to school. Summer and vacation is winding down. Fall starts to show up here and there. Leaves start to change. Everything about this time of year calls for transition. It is a transition time. And change is happening all around us every single day. And that's why even when I write about it, I say, ready or not, whether we're ready for it or not, here it comes. Even the universe is supporting us in so many ways. Change of season, the cosmos, the actual, I just went blank for a minute there, the Mercury is retrograde. That's probably why I went blank. The eclipses. We are in between two major eclipses. And those eclipses are really calling us to make change. That's really what they're all about. The universe is changing. The earth is changing. And so this is the time. If you need to make some changes in your life and you are ready for some transformation, this is the time to do it, because the powerful energies of the universe are supporting us to do it. How do you know if you need to make change? Well, there are a number of different ways. If you feel like there is something that is holding you back and you can't quite put your finger on it, but you know you are not maybe as happy as you'd like to be, or things aren't going exactly as you thought they would in your life, it might mean that you need to make some change. And change doesn't have to be drastic. It's not something that we do all at once. I mean, think about if you're going on a diet. You don't automatically stop eating all the bad things tomorrow and be able to stick to that diet forever. It just doesn't work that way. So when it's time for change, there again, you need to make subtle, little, small changes. Excuse me, got an itch. So if you have that fear that something isn't quite right, and you don't know how to do it or what to do with it, or what it is, that yearning that you might be feeling, okay, that means that it's time to make some change. And I have a lot of clients who say, well, why would I want to change? My life is okay. Well, if your life is okay and you're happy with it and you're content, well, then change probably isn't for you. But change is a good thing. Change is a good thing because if we continue living life the same day in and day out, we become stagnant. We become boring, we become cranky, we become critical, we become crotchety in our old age. And we really don't want to do that. I mean, the world is changing all around us so quickly that if we don't change to keep up with it, then we kind of get left behind. And it really is vital for our aging process to go with the flow and learn that there are some things that we need to do just to survive in this time of change. The world is changing too rapidly. We don't want to get left behind. There are so many people that I work with in different arenas who are so much older, in their 70s and 80s, and some of them even in their 90s, that are going back to school, getting their PhD, doing all the things that they always wanted to do that they never did. And it's a fabulous thing because those are the kind of things that give us our vitality, that keep us energized, that keep us excited about life. I think back to the days where, it was 7:00 at night and my parents would put on Wheel of Fortune. And it just became that nightly habit that, yeah, I love Wheel of Fortune, but every single night it got to be a little bit boring. It's like, can we change this up? Let's go for a walk. Let's see if we can, capture the sunset. Let's do something else that will nurture us. And that's really what it is. It's really about nurturing us and finding the things that we like to do. And so when we get stuck in habits and we don't want to change, yeah, we get kind of stagnant and we get boring. I mean, I see it in relationships. I see it in marriages all the time where, it's day in and day out. It's the same thing. Well, routine is great for young children. It gives them a sense of security. And of course, it's important when, they're in school and they have homework and those kind of things. And routine is important for us too, even in our daily lives with our work and the things that we know we need to accomplish regularly. But there also comes a time where we need to step out of our comfort zone and be open to new possibilities and realize that change is a good thing. Change is something positive. And when we do step out of that comfort zone, there is a world of possibilities we open ourselves to. There are things that we may not have recognized, things that we may not have tried, business opportunities that may surface that we would not otherwise have come across if we didn't take that step out in another direction. There are a lot of my clients who, get stuck in their 9-to-5 routine and they come home and they don't venture out. They stay in their doors day in and day out, and they don't venture out to try new things. Go to different networks, go to different meetups, meeting different people, trying different activities that can enrich your life. And so change really opens us up to all the enrichment and the possibilities that are available to us. And that expands our world in ways that can become exponential, personally and professionally. So change is really, really a very positive, and it really is important to embrace change, because like I said before, it's happening. With or without us, it's going to happen. So it's really important to embrace change. Some of you who know me and know my story know how much change I have been to. And here I was, a girl who lived on the same block for the first 35 years of my life. We had a family business for over 20 years. My car was on autopilot to and from work. So, there was much in my life that did not change. And then all of a sudden, once the move came to Florida, everything about my life changed, and it has not stopped. And even how timely this morning that Facebook surfaced with my video from 4 years ago where I was talking about change. And I thought I had lots of change going on then. And I laughed to myself this morning when I saw that, because so much more change has transpired in those 4 years. As you may have noticed, if you watch that video and you're looking at this one, the background is different. I just went through a major change. I moved from my house where I was in 17 years to downsize to a condo. And there's been so many other changes along the way. And yeah, there was some uncomfortable times and some adjustments, but I feel that it's a time of growth and it's a time of expansion. And so I'm really enjoying all the change, because it leaves you with that hope of new possibility, that childlike wonderment of what's next for me. And it really does become a childlike wonderment, because you're allowing the universe to deliver all the dreams and possibilities that are there for you and for your life. So if you're tired of giving to everyone else and not getting enough of what you need for yourself, if you're overwhelmed that you have so much going on in your life and you're not getting enough pleasure out of life, if you recognize that something needs to change, then you're in the right place. You are in the right place. And some steps that you can take right now to get you started, and as I mentioned, subtle little steps to get you started. I want you to think about, if you were to change something in your life, what would it be? What would be the one thing, if, and I say if because not everyone is ready, but if there was one thing, what would that be? I really would like you to ponder on that. That's not something that just pops into your head. It's really something to ponder about as you go through all the different areas of your life, your health, your finances, your personal life, your relationships. Think about what would be that one thing that you would like to change. And then I want you to think about, if you're not ready for that change, why not? What's holding you back? What is keeping you from getting out of that comfort zone and stepping into the unknown and moving forward into a world of possibilities? What is it that is holding you back? And then what I'd like you to do is focus on what your life would look like if you made that change. It's really something to ponder, and I always suggest that when you're doing these kind of questions and this kind of work, that you write it down. Because what I find is, one, journaling. As you ponder these thoughts, ideas may pop into your head at any given time. You can, maybe in the shower, your best ideas pop into your head. Maybe while you're driving, you can record it on your phone. Keep your notebook handy. And as thoughts come into your mind, write them down, because it may take a little while to think about those ideas and think about If you hadn't considered change, why not? Why not? What would that change look like for you? So you can write it down. You can draw a picture of it. You can cut out pictures in magazines or different things that you come across that may symbolize the change that you may want for yourself. And moving forward within the next few months, we will be doing some vision boarding. So it's a good idea to cut out some of those pictures and symbols of what you want to bring more of in your life. And a big part of making change, as I can attest to after this major move, is that we need to let things go. We need to let go of the things that are not working in our life, because that's the only way we can make room for more of what we want. So yes, change is an ending, but it's also new beginnings. So we need to let go of what it is that we don't want so that we can bring in more of what we do want. So as you're focusing on those 3 questions, also think about what you would eliminate to make room for the things that you want. Those are very important questions to ponder on. So I'm giving you a week till my next video to see how you do. And some people have asked me, how can change transform my life? And change can truly transform your life. As I mentioned before, even those subtle little changes. Do one small thing every day, and all of a sudden you start to notice changes in your life. And we all know the definition of insanity. If we keep doing the same thing over and over again and getting the same results, well, that's a clue. That's a clue that it's time for you to make some changes. But how can change actually transform your life? Well, when you start to focus on what your life could look like if you made a change, those thoughts start leading you to notice more of the opportunities and the possibilities that are available if you make that change. And those thoughts become our reality. If we spend enough time on them, they become our reality. And so focusing on the things that we would like to bring more into in our life, that starts the transformation. It starts the movement. It starts opening that thought process, getting us out of some of our stagnation. And in some cases, maybe we're in a rut and we're stuck and we don't know how to get out of the stagnation and move forward. And so we start to see that things can actually change. And as those subtle changes start to happen, transformation starts to happen in your life. And we get more energized and more excited about life because we start to notice things that we never noticed before. It's like that, that red Volkswagen. If you buy one, all of a sudden you see red Volkswagens everywhere. It's the same premise. When we start to think about the things that we want to bring into our life, things start to show up for us. And that's how the transformation begins. So yes, change can drastically transform your life to ways that you would never even think possible until we start to make the subtle changes. So to open you up, to open you up to the possibilities for change for the next 3 weeks, every Wednesday at 11 o'clock, that is the 23rd, the 30th, and September 6th, I will be right here on Facebook Live, and I will be sharing Transition to Transformation. And transition is really that transition through change. How do we get through the change to create the transformation that we want for our life? And I'll be sharing that for the next 3 Wednesdays. And I hope that you will be here to learn more about that if you're looking to make some changes in your life. I also open you up to, if you have not been following my daily tools for transformation that I've been posting, shoot me an email or contact me on my website for 21 days of tools for transformation sent directly into your email box for you. As we all know, it takes 21 days to create a habit. So there are 21 days of very subtle little minor changes that you'll receive daily for those 21 days to help you open up to the possibilities of change and transformation in your life. And if you'd like to know more about how I can help you with it, thank you for the likes. Send me some hearts too. I'm a hugger. I want the hearts too. Send them over my way. If you'd like to know more about how I can help you through this process, feel free to contact me on Facebook, on my page, Christine Cottagio, or on my website at www.christinecottagio.com. I'm available to answer any of your questions or concerns. And remember that this is the time. This is a very powerful time energetically, as the universe is ready for us and really giving us the energy and the thought process and everything we need to make shifts in our life. So if you're ready, harness that power, and I'll help you do that throughout the next 3 weeks. Thank you so much for joining me today. Send me some hearts. Send me some hearts. Love speaking to you about the things that are so near and dear to my heart. Thanks so much. Have a great Wednesday.